Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft, and it feels strange to say that today because I've already recorded the outro. Yeah, that's right, I've been doing some stuff in the gaming district, recording over there, already recorded the end of this episode, but what I want to do is focus on that build over there. So we're going to kind of jump between this and the gaming district and back here again. And so it feels very odd to know that I've recorded the end before the beginning. That might be a Hermitcraft first for me. But anyway, I want to talk about feedback as we walk over here. As always, I appreciate your feedback. There were just a couple of comments that I kind of wanted to respond to. Some sort of angry-ish comments about what type of architecture this was. Some people saying you're wrong, it's Japanese architecture. Some other people saying you're wrong, it's Icelandic architecture. Here's the thing, peeps. I said that I was inspired by Chinese architecture. Inspired being a key word. Or better yet, should I say Oriental architecture. So from what I've seen of that type of building, from memory, this is kind of what I've put together. So it's not a perfect thing. It's not perfectly representing something. It's just an inspiration. The other thing that people had a problem with was this thing looking unfinished. And again, I thought I said it in the episode, that I would be working on it again in the future and adding more details. That's precisely what we're going to do in this episode. We're going to be adjusting the roof. We're going to be putting details on the side of the building, breaking up some of these walls as well, possibly with some extra textures. I've got all of that planned, but right now what I'd like to focus on is the garden around the outside and the trees that reside in it. Now, when I was placing down this grass, I was talking about how we didn't want to go into the ocean because I didn't want passive mobs spawning on the grass, and a lot of you corrected me. Yeah, mobs can't spawn in the ocean. Of course, earlier on in the season, with Mumbo Jumbo, we built him a farm, and he couldn't build his because his base is in an ocean. So passive mobs won't spawn on there in grass, which means we actually have the license to expand this area here, but we must make sure it's lit up so that hostile mobs don't spawn in here. But anyway, that's what we're going to start off by doing, is expanding the garden so it goes the full way around the building. That means moving these blocks down here, replacing it with grass, and somewhere here is actually a gap that goes down to like one of my first branch mines. We're just going to cover up. I don't use that at all anymore. Over here on this corner though, this is where the grass is going to spread into the ocean, so we're going to need a light source around here, and it will also just go alongside this bit, so there's a little bit of grass coming around this way. Now when it comes to the front of the building, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, either some extensive terraforming or maybe our garden gets raised and comes up to this height. So the grassy area out the back there is being extended, and I've decided that our garden at the front is actually going to be quite large, and there were some little water pools hidden under the dirt here. So we're going to add a pond as part of the garden, and it's going to be the original water pools that were here. So what I'm currently doing is encouraging the grass to spread and putting in this wall, and I've kind of realised that I've made a bit of a mistake here, and that is to have not blocked out some diagonals. So in order to stop the grass spreading, we need a solid block between it and the dirt on the other side, but that means that they can grow diagonally nice and easy. There's a good example of it somewhere around here, like if there were grass here, that could spread to this, which we don't want, so I need to come back here and tidy this up a little bit, but it goes down all the way to the ocean there, and you can see it's going to end up being pretty large, and some parts of this are still going to need to be flattened a little bit more. Still waiting for the last of the grass to spread here, but it hasn't spread beyond my wall, which I've tried to make look a little bit run down. It's got some sort of semblances of structure with these little pillars, the cracked stone bricks, the torches on top. It looks actually really quite nice from this side over here. It looks very kind of old, but kind of kept up as well. And now what we've got to do is decorate this area. You can see there are paths linking this all up as well. These look really nice with the birch planks. And I love how the path textures here come down the side of the block. That helps it really come together well. So all of these little entrances link up, and then the path starts to go around there. So it's actually going to go all the way around the back. But we tried this last time, and I don't think it really worked just to throw down some bone meal. We need something more coordinated. So what I need to do is first of all get my hands on some more types of flowers, and second of all I need to comment on how once again the sun is going down right as I hit record. It seems to be a common thing. Some flowers like this would be ideal, allium flowers. And this tunnel is Stress Monster's tunnel. I remembered that Stress said she built a flower farm at some point, and her area is right next to a flower forest. So I picked one of her videos, episode 28, Alien Plans, and right at the beginning you can see the actual farm itself, which is absolutely fantastic. So right now I've got Stress's video on the other screen, and there's a moment in the episode where she flies over there from this location, and it looks a little bit different because more stuff has been built around here. Lots more stuff, but what I'm going to try and do is grab my rockets and sort of follow where she flies. I think it was in that direction, and eventually it will lead us to a flower farm. Minus Steve here, bringing you some diamonds. That's kind of cool. Right, anyway, let's grab our rocket and get up into the sky. Well, there is now this in the area. That's pretty impressive. And then there's a pillar in the sky. I think it was just over here. Uh-oh, I've lost track of the pillar in the sky. The pillar in the sky is the key to finding this farm. And, wait, was it just over there? Aha, gotcha. I went the wrong direction then. So this pillar should take us to the flower farm. Yep, that looks like some sort of contraption over here. I see some grass, some redstone going on. This looks like it is the thing. And there's a minecart going on as well. Cool. Right, so I'm going to load up some bone meal into this farm and give it a whirl. So the farm itself is a bit on the small side, which is kind of unfortunate because it means that the bone meal's a little inefficient, only doing a 3x3 space, and the only thing we actually really get from this is poppies and alliums. So I think this was set up specifically just to get alliums. If it had been made a little bit bigger, it might have been possible to get more things. If you're unaware, the way flowers work in this game is that each specific spot will have a type of flower that can be there. That's why this one is specifically getting the same type over and over again. If we go outside and just look around here, there are these red tulips, which I think I would like. So if I go ahead and break those 3 spots, if we get a flower to grow in them again, those flowers will be tulips. Except I'm not getting any flowers, am I? Not getting. There you go. See, it's a tulip in that exact spot. What I'll probably do is just roam around this forest and use some bone meal manually so we can pick up some of those as well. Well, it turns out this farm has a bit of a dead spot in the middle, maybe on the corner as well. That's probably due to the way the rails are curved in the corners, and you've got the dispenser there in the middle. But as you can see, I got myself over a stack of alliums as well as red tulips. And I figured that these poppies are red as well, so we could use the 3 of those and possibly some of these ones. Hopefully that's going to be enough. And anyway, while I head back, I'm going to show you what I recorded earlier from the gaming area. So in the last episode of Hermitcraft, myself, Wells Knight, Python GB, and Mumbo Jumbo came over here to the gaming district and played a round of games. I believe that we played about 7 in total. And it's left me with a bunch of notes, things that I need to fix in Boat Bros and some other maintenance work that's required around here. One of those things being updating this map. As you can see, loads of mycelium on it that's been removed, and this area back here has been transformed into grass. And now we've got this new attraction here as well. The last time you saw it in an episode, not including the last one, this would have looked quite different, and that's because I came over here and actually expanded upon it, because I got a lot of feedback, quite a few people saying it didn't look too great and it was a little bit small. Now I reckon the thing that I built was at least a third of the size of the one that I built on my Let's Play Minecraft Together server, and it worked much better over there because first of all we were in an ugly environment and lots of people joined in and built their own tracks, so the aesthetic of the track looked really cool. In this environment, it's not as great. However, I've got some good news. Mumbo is going to be heading over here, and using this thing to get up and down is going to be creating another floor above mine, which leads into another one of these boat ice racing obstacle courses, whatever you want to call it. So we expanded the track, and we started right here by adding like a new section over there with cobwebs. So you can get caught in the cobwebs, or you can do it like I tried to do in my little run on the last episode and go straight round this corner here, which actually kind of looks like it might have been faster. And we also expanded an extra route over here, which absolutely no one takes. And I would say I would revise this, but the problem is lots of people have raced it now, and we're starting to get some scores down, so I think there is no room for revisions. Also, underneath you'll notice that there are some iron trapdoors here, and that's just trying to make the look of the underneath a little bit cleaner, because there's a lot of packed ice and there is a lot of clay as well, and it just concrete and it just ends up not looking so great. But anyway, I've tracked the scores from the last episode. You would have seen I put a timer on the screen, so we're just going to go ahead and chuck them into this book. So those are the times, tracked perfectly through the magic of video editing. And if you want to see some of your other hermits come over here and play this game, leave them some encouraging comments. See if they can come over here and beat Python's score. I myself will give it another shot later on in this episode. I've also gone and updated the map as well, so check it out, looking a lot more up to date. I think a little bit of Mumbo's area had changed, and then obviously that bit up there no longer has mycelium around, as well as these parts. The entrance to the Tangler looks particularly interesting, and then down here, that actually looks really, really cool. I like this. This right here kind of looks like an eye, maybe a little Space Invader creature who's puking out the path of the course. Kind of strange, but that's the way that I see it. So after we played False's Hungry Hungry Hermits game, we just kind of moved on to the next thing. So I thought it'd be a good idea to come back here and breed them up. It does say breed after, so yes, after you've played a game, breed up all of these piggies. Hello, my friends, hello, hi. Let's breed them all up so more people can continue to play this game in the future. Well, my friends, it's a classic Minecraft pig party. And I think I'm also breeding up the young ones when I feed them the carrots. You can make them grow up a little bit faster, hi. I think we're done. I probably need to take the carrot out of my hand right about now. Otherwise they're going to crush me to death. Unfortunately, there are also some piggies down below still in the game. And they're kind of redundant now because they're not in the middle, they're over to the edges. And so I believe they need to go as well. So these lots have been fed some carrots, and now I'm probably going to be feeding myself some bacon for the future. Well, it was cruel but necessary, and I got myself a pig head. Not sure if I actually had one of those yet, so that'll go in our mini mob heads area of our base. And also I was getting some raw pork chops as well as cooked pork chops, and I was thinking, hang on a sec, I got fire aspect, but I've also got sweeping edge, so that was killing some of them and not cooking the drops, which possibly could be considered a bug. But I'm not filling out a bug report today. Unless it's for this game, because I found some serious exploits, okay? Now we're going to have to place a temporary block right about here. The trick to playing this game, if you didn't catch it from the last episode, is when you jump from boat to boat, you need to hold down spacebar. If you don't hold down spacebar when you land, you glitch into the boat, which kind of sucks. But the big oversight was that you could do this. Now, I don't know how on earth... Well, falling into the water wasn't part of that, and apparently I'm now in swimming mode. Okay, all kind of glitchiness going on here. Let's take off the elytra. That's another thing you're not supposed to have in this area. But yes, you can jump on top of the iron bar, you can go over like this, straight to the end. Doesn't make any sense at all. I'm not sure how I never noticed that. Well, that, my friends, will make a world of difference because it will stop players from cheating. So I believe that's the first course now properly finished. This game has been finished many, many times over and over again. And the next thing that we got to do is fill in this hole. I don't know how this hole ended up being here, but it is an eyesore and it needs to be patched in. So we now have a much needed checkpoint reminder here, because for some people who haven't played the game before, it might not be that clear that it's split up into sections. So then over here we've got checkpoint number 2. And coming around through this when I played with Mumbo, I realised a little bit of a flaw with the very last jump. There is like a too high gap, and that can be notoriously difficult to time so that you fall down and then land on the block underneath. So here what I think we'll be doing is adding in the extra 1 block right there. So the boat is going to be in the middle and the player is going to do that, and their lives are made much easier. This is also a checkpoint as well, so we'll put it around this corner. This will be checkpoint 3. And that is checkpoint 4. There was nothing wrong with Python's game. There's also nothing wrong with this one now that we fixed it after several attempts. There's also cows in here. I've noticed there's loads of these cows appearing around the place. I guess maybe they're spawning on some of the mycelium that remained, but I think we've got rid of most of that now. And then that's it really. This is obviously the end, and apparently we just left our boats behind. Another thing that needs to be sorted out are these chests, and I'm just going to give them the axe. I've taken out anything of remote value from here, and it's mostly just dirt and mycelium. There are a couple of other things in there as well, but nothing truly expensive. We're just going to let that stuff despawn now because those chests have been sitting there looking too ugly for too long. So welcome back to the sheep farm project. We've got some work to do over here. But do you notice something here? It kind of looks like there's been a creeper blast, right? There is glass missing, sort of centered around here where there's birch planks missing. And part of this thing, a dispenser. I also ended up with some wool in my inventory. There used to be a chest full of wool here. I think a creeper came in and blew up. So the question would be, where did that creeper come from? And I believe the answer is on top of those cherry blossom trees. As many of you told me, it's nighttime again. So you can see from over here that I've torn them down. I believe maybe one of them was overhanging the ocean and on top of it it spawned and wandered off, came into here. That's the only explanation that I've got. And I've torn them down because the feedback on the trees were, they're alright, but they could be better. So we're going to build a better tree, and we're going to build a big one that's kind of in focus. So we're just going to walk around here. You can see some of the things that I've been up to. To be fair, it's been a real struggle to make this area look nice, but the bigger things were throwing in the random grass and the leaves, which I kind of tore out a little bit last time. And then we just got some flower boxes with podzol in, some random flowers scattered about here and there. Been trying to get rid of all of those ones from where I'm bone milling. And then it brings you out into this big open area. And there's some tulips down the side there. A sprinkling of alliums. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've done with it. And I think I'm pretty much going to keep it that way. This is the place where I want to build the custom tree though. I want to have it in the center here. And I want to have its roots go down into the ponds a little bit. So we're going to be using, I think, spruce wood again. But based on suggestions, things that people have been tweeting me and such, we should use some other things like these for branches, and also on top of the pink wall we'll have the tree made out of. We're going to put some glass on there as well to try and make it look a little more special. So here we have what I believe is a gorgeous tree, quite possibly a little bit scaled down. Maybe this could have been even bigger and more glamorous, but it looks absolutely fantastic. And I've just slept in a bed. This thing has quite the charm at night because it's got end rods hanging off of it, and if the end rods didn't have the neutral texture adjustment, they would have been purple and probably matched the tree anyway and looked like hanging fruit or something like that. But you can see I've done exactly what I've said with the whack-on, I think, of what they're called. Let's read. Fences. Brain, you should be able to get that information quicker. Fences, glass panes that are pink, end rods and pink wall, all looking great together here. And also the roots going down into the pond a little bit. Great idea. And that is the finishing touch on our garden, which means we can now begin work on the building itself. So I've got about 4 or 5 details I want to try. This one doesn't work, another one has been implemented. So the one that doesn't work is putting a pattern onto the front of this building. It sort of looks okay, and we could probably repeat it on several of the panels, but I don't feel like it really adds anything. It breaks up the nice texture of the bone blocks, and I tried a few other things like wall blocks, for example, and I don't think like anything quite mixes on this scale. So we're going to take that one back and put it back to normal. The other detail should be pretty obvious. I put in some banners on the sides here. They are on the wood beams going all the way around, so it looks really cool. Feel like that fits in very well. Put a little bit of quartz at the front here, and again, I just don't feel like the quartz really adds too much. I might even swap that back to blown blocks as well. So the last couple of details that I want to do are on the roof, and the first one is to shape the sides and get some pointiness going on. So we've got a straight line there, and what I would like to do is just have it come out a tiny little bit and then have a pointy bit coming off at the top. Wow, this is such a nice view, this area, isn't it? And the roof, I started off with actually quite a big and wide curve that started off lower down, and I also had this little flick that comes off the top be rather large as well. Didn't really work, had to make it rather subtle. I feel like the roof is actually pretty complete looking as it is. So we're not going to put that pattern down on the front here. What we're now going to do is break up the big size of the roof by putting in some windows at the top. So those are going to be one panel on this side, one panel on this side over here. Probably be a roof shape a little bit similar to this, sort of sticking outwards a little bit. And I think it would be smart to make it start above where that one there connects. So the bottom of the windows we're going to add is probably around this height. That, my friends, is a fantastic sight. These windows, if you want to call them that, are really well positioned. I moved them around a little bit. I changed the sizes of them. I also made them very shapely to begin with and had to kind of bring that back and make them a little bit more rigid. There are some slabs and stairs in there though, and they're one block lower than the height of the total ceiling, just because that kind of looked odd when it met it at the same height. So it's ended up being really great, but as you'll see, if I look through it from this side over here, when you see the white behind it of the sky, it looks really odd. So I think what we should be doing is getting in there and placing a little bit of a barrier in the middle. So maybe what I'll end up doing is turning this into a floor that I can walk back and forth on. But for now, that kind of blocks you from seeing what's on the other side, which works. So this project for now is complete. I am happy with this build, and I'll probably be doing a Hermitcraft live stream soon because I do those on the regular. So there's a good chance that I might come over here and change up some details, you know, add some more, maybe refine some ideas, but otherwise it's done. And what I'd like to do right now is tidy up this pillar that I've left behind, but also head over to the gaming district to show you the footage that I recorded earlier today, which was me playing my own game and trying to get a high score. So my personal score to beat is 126. I recorded that and I wanted to do even better because Python's is 122. I also did it without F5 and I didn't enjoy it as much. So anyway, we're going to start when I say go, and that's when I'm holding down forward, and I kind of just want to breeze through this first bit across the ice. That's not so bad. Take this route even though it's sort of slower, less maneuvering. Okay, and then into the fast lane. Here we go. Now here is where we're going to make our time count. Oof. Can we get moving quickly? Okay, I'm going to take that. I think that's probably not as bad as it looks. And we kind of lined the boat up so it might go across. Yeah, we kind of want to go into that gap there. And it's very difficult to line up, but I think we've just about done it. Excellent. Whiz all the way through here. Keep holding down forward, turn around. And here I have some troubles. Let's see if we can go through the gap. We can't. So I'm going to get out of the boat, get back in, and then I can go forward again. You see my hitbox desyncs. I thought it was lava. It might not actually be lava. It could be many things, but now I'm on fire. And let's hope that doesn't mess me up. So around this corner, am I desynced again? Nope, I'm not. I was just aiming poorly. Okay, into that one. This bit's nice and fast. My health is getting considerably low. That's not particularly great. And we're actually doing this one really quite fast. My turning is a little bit over the top. Come on, come on, come on. And dropping down here nice and swiftly will be good for our score. That was a perfect turn. Oh no! We've sort of landed slightly on the side of a block. And then, oh, my view is just getting totally messed up here. Hold down forward all the way to the end now, and bam. Let's see what score we got. Well, that was 1 second slower than the one I did before, and if I didn't have to get out of that boat and back in again, we might have just made the same score again. I'm going to put down that one. 126 is my personal best so far, and I'll just edit my previous entry. I'm not sure if I should put an entry in twice. Hey, we'll probably take up a lot of space if we did that, so I'll just put my lowest score in there. And that, my friends, I guess, is where we're going to end this episode. I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like. As always, thank you for the support, and I'll see you soon with another episode of Hermitcraft.